If you're looking to make major wealth in cryptocurrency to become financially free owning Bitcoin, well, this video is for you. I'm going to be showing you just how many Bitcoin you likely need to become a Bitcoin millionaire. That's right, it's not just clickbait. This is actual analysis. We're going to be looking at the Bitcoin chart. We're going to be looking at the history up until now and what's made Bitcoin move and what's likely to be the key drivers in making it move again. 2024, 2025 are likely to be huge bull market years for cryptocurrency and of course Bitcoin. Make sure you stay tuned until the end because I will be talking about the exact number of Bitcoin I believe you need to become financially free, to become a Bitcoin millionaire. And also I will be giving you tips how you can make more Bitcoin in this bull market as well. Guys, if you like TA, if you like Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoin analysis, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell. And your support by hitting the like button would also be greatly appreciated. Without any further delays, let's get into this video, which by the way, does have chapters down below should you want to navigate, skip ahead, rewatch. Let's get into it. Now in front of us here is the monthly chart for Bitcoin. It goes all the way back since Bitcoin's inception, 2009. And you can see, generally speaking, the price action has been going to the upside. Now, every 4 years with Bitcoin, it is programmed into Bitcoin's code. It is hardwired, baked into the cake, if you like. It's known as the Bitcoin halving. These yellow lines represent each of the previous 3 halvings that Bitcoin has had at the time of recording this video. Now, the new halving is going to take place at some point in March, April 2024. So every 4 years there is a halving, and that is where the number of blocks rewarded to miners when they're mining Bitcoin is halved. Of course, when you have less supply and demand remains constant or increases, the price goes up. It's simple economics, supply, demand, and that is exactly what's been happening with Bitcoin. And that is just based on software, the technicals. Bitcoin is code. It doesn't even take into account fundamentals and the financials. For example, right now, at time of recording, we've been coming off facing very high inflation. Interest rates have been increasing, and people are looking for a safe, hard form of money. So Bitcoin, being a scarce, divisible, transferable asset, very much like gold, is one of the driving factors as to why Bitcoin has been doing well and is likely to continue to do well. So let's look where we currently are in the cycle. And even if you're watching this many months or even a year or years later than me recording this video, you're going to find this interesting because this is cyclical. Look at where the halvings are. You can see that every halving, these yellow lines, indicates an area where the Bitcoin price has rallied. And you can see where we currently are at time of recording. We are approximately speaking 150 days away from the halving. You can see in the last cycle in 2019, we were in a similar position. I'm going to move it to the weekly chart here to give us some more detail. And you can see that quite often there's a little small dip before the halving. And right now we are approaching that level. So we might see a small dip in price before we approach that halving. But after every halving, we have a huge explosion in the price. You can see the 2012 one, we went from the low to the high, something like 10,000 to 12,000%. From this halving, that was the 2016 one, we went up 3,500%. From this halving to the 2020 top, we went up something like 600%. So they're getting smaller. And throughout this video, I'm of course going to give you my analysis on where I believe the Bitcoin price is going to be going in this halving. But the maths stays constant. When there is a halving, it is generally, or has been to now, the start of a new bull cycle. So let's talk about 2020 for my analysis prediction of where I believe the Bitcoin price will be, and of course how many Bitcoin you'll need to start accumulating to become very wealthy with Bitcoin. And then we will move on to 25, which I believe will be the penultimate main Bitcoin bull market year, but it's important you understand the price action along the way. So right now, at time of recording, Bitcoin has been trying to break above $38,000 and hold above it, unsuccessfully so far, mainly because of this resistance area we have in the chart, which you can see going across here. But also, there's also a longer term resistance level. In fact, if you go from the 2017 bull market top, you can run a line of resistance from here all the way through to where the bull market was in play in 2021. And the resistance is holding the price action down for now, in my opinion. And going back to the log chart, which I showed you before, you can also see that the log chart middle band of the support is actually acting as resistance as well. So right now, in late 2023, it's just approaching December, it's November the 30th, we are facing major resistance. So what does that mean going through the rest of 2024? Well, like you can see, approaching the new halving, which is going to be some point April or very late March 2024, we had a similar drop in price even when we were above the bull market resistance band, which you can see here, which we're above now. Even though it flipped green, as you can see here, we still went below it. That doesn't mean history will repeat itself, but in my opinion, before we get to the halving, late March 24, April 24, I believe we will see a slight retracement in the price, probably coming down to support of the low 30,000s, maybe even potentially as low as the next support level, which will be about $25,000 Bitcoin. So I believe we're approximately at a local top. That could mean we go a little bit higher, maybe up to 41, 42,000. It's possible. But if you use Elliott wave theory, we've had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I believe it's now looking like a reversal, just like when the Bitcoin price in February 2020 took a huge dip to the downside. But that was due to what happened with the health scare pandemic. So again, history may not repeat in the same fashion, but it does rhyme quite often. So what I'm then looking to happen throughout the rest of 24, when we get a bounce off either 30,500 or potentially down to 25,000, I believe that's where the big bull market rally starts, which will be just after the halving cycle, some point in early summer of 2024, just like after this halving, just like after this halving, we're gonna get a huge rally and the big bull market will then start. I'm expecting the price to maybe come up slightly, potentially get supported either here at 30,000 or 20,000 to hover around, and early summer, I believe that's when we start taking off basically. But how far do we go? Well, that brings us into the next part of the video. So mid-summer 2024, what we will then likely see happen is the Bitcoin price retest these kind of levels, going into sort of $40,000 range, $45,000, even potentially $50,000 range, which opens up this new zone. It's going to be the most aggressive part of the cycle, mid to late 2024 going into 2025. Now, in order to see how long it takes from the bottom to the top, well, we can look at some of the previous troughs to peaks, if you like. So generally from the halving, it's around 500 days. You can see here about this one was shorter. This one was a year, 365 days from the halving. From this halving, it took 500 days. And from this one here to the top, it was this point here, it took 500 days. So we're just going to go with 500 days as an approximate guess from the halving. And what you can then see is that the top should take place somewhere around June 2025, okay, approximately speaking. Now that could mean coming up to this resistance level here, which is 120,000 or so. But in my opinion, that's at the very, very lower end, and maybe the very, very minimum that the Bitcoin price should get to in the next bull market. I think that's very modest. What's more likely, in my opinion, is to come up at least to this mid-level resistance band, which should take us, if you do go to that same sort of date around June 2025, it should take you approximately somewhere in the region of $360,000. If you wanted to get really, really bullish, like we did in the 2017 bull market top, you know, it could mean, again, going by June 2025, it could take you somewhere crazy in the over $1 million mark. I'm not advocating for over $1 million Bitcoin just yet, or at least in the next 1 or 2 years. But I think a safe assessment is to take an average of somewhere between what we said before, which would be the $120,000 mark and the $366,000 mark. We could call it an even $250,000. That's where I'm expecting the Bitcoin price to be approximately by the next bull market top, and I expect it to happen at some point between Q1 and Q2 of 2025. So how many Bitcoin will you need to become extremely wealthy in the next bull cycle, assuming that the price would get to about $250,000 per Bitcoin? So we can work it out quite quickly, but very quickly I will mention today's video sponsor, which is 𝗕𝗏𝗘𝗦 AI. If you find trading a little bit cumbersome, difficult, technical analysis, risk to reward, well, 𝗕𝗏𝗘𝗦 AI automates your trading for you. It actually works through Telegram and connects to your trading account. So you get bots like PilotBot, LadderBot, TopTraderBot. You can control it with your risk level, and then you can set it to autopilot quite literally. If you want to check out 𝗕𝗏𝗘𝗦, do check out the link in the video description down below, where you can start a 7-day free trial or join their free Telegram AI bot so you can get the signals. And of course, then if you want to automate it, you can try it for free. 7-day free trial link is down below. And whilst I'm here, trading exchange bonuses, BingX and Bybit. If you want somewhere to trade, buy cryptocurrencies, altcoins, do check out the links down below, both for Bybit and for BingX. So it's an easy assumption to make, isn't it? Okay, well, if it's $250,000 to, that's the price prediction for Bitcoin at the bull cycle top, well, then I need 4 Bitcoin, right? 4 times 250,000 is $1 million. Well, not exactly, because assuming you're going to accumulate Bitcoin throughout the cycle, okay? And also, $1 million isn't reasonable for everyone's budget. We all have different amounts that we can invest. And of course, becoming a millionaire, you still need a considerable amount of Bitcoin. But that doesn't mean that you can't make extraordinary wealth. If the price of Bitcoin at time recording is about $40,000, and we're talking about $250,000. So we're talking about sort of a 6-7x opportunity. But in order to make more Bitcoin, we can do that. We can do that in a few ways. We can do that trading, of course, and I do have videos learning how to trade, how to manage risk, and I'll put a video card up there, but there'll also be links in the video description down below. And also, the other way we can do it is by playing the cycles. What do I mean by that? Let me show you. So this is the crypto market cap chart, which you can see time of recording is currently estimated to be $1.384 trillion. And you can use this to understand the time to go in on crypto or not. Now, right now it's at a resistance level, which is about $1.43 trillion. But when that breaks, it's a time to get into crypto. But more importantly, we can actually use altcoins to make exceptional wealth in cryptocurrency. Now, this is the total 3 chart. This chart here, total 3, excludes Bitcoin and Ethereum. When you get a breakout, and at the moment we're under resistance, it is an opportunity to get into altcoins. So if we break this major resistance level here, meaning altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin, well, you can use your Bitcoin, you can sell it into altcoins like Solana, XRP, DOT, and of course there are many other different altcoins. A great tool I like to use is Banter Bubbles. You can compare altcoins on the daily, weekly, monthly, and really get a strong idea of altcoin prices. And the other chart you can look at is the Bitcoin dominance. When the Bitcoin dominance is strong and breaking out, currently it's under resistance. You can see under this resistance level and this resistance level. Well, when it breaks out, that's a time to switch into Bitcoin. So you can use these charts to buy and sell Bitcoin, convert it into altcoins, and come out of altcoins. And that way you can accumulate more Bitcoin with the same initial capital. And then of course you can dollar cost average and buy your own Bitcoin as well. But really trading, learning to trade, like I said, links in the video description below, and converting, transferring of wealth between altcoins and Bitcoin is going to be a big game changer to learn how to utilize that for this bull cycle. If anyone has any questions, comments, please leave them down below. Again, links are down below for trading bonuses and for 𝗕𝗏𝗘𝗧 AI. I've got links for TradingView as well. I've got free stocks. And if anybody liked this video, you would be amazing by simply sharing it, hitting the like button, and joining me on any future videos that I do, technical analysis and other crypto educational content. Thank you for joining me. Do feel free to check out any one of these videos on screen before we go. See you on another video very soon, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.